Why don't they just use normal raised alphabets for Braille? Because it's not as easy to read as patterned dots. Braille is easier to read and takes up less space. Is that a D or an O? M or N? C or E? Differences you can easily see you can't necessarily feel when small. The letters of the alphabet were made to look different, not feel different. Braille is designed to feel different, but doesn't look very different. Everyone else is right on the money. I just wanted to say that's actually what they used to do before Braille. But it was very tedious to produce, made the book documents very large, and were as a result expensive and rare. While originating from Louis Braille, who went blind playing with his father's tools, it was used most frequently by soldiers in the trenches. Since light would create a target in the dark, it was considerably safer to have a system that worked in the dark. That likely reinforced having a more difficult to read system from the outside. That said, the primary reason for the 6-dot system is because they can all fit under a single finger pad. Basically, it's efficient, especially when you consider that we visually read several words at once and not letter by letter. Braille requires time cause you have to basically touch each letter. The smaller and easier to differentiate the better. Just look at LFD. A quick trace of the finger wouldn't get you the answer immediately. Handwriting would become a fact, length, row, etc. They used to. But this was expensive and not very effective. Imagine quickly reading by though when you get to an O. Or was it a Q? Is this an R or a P? The letters got dented too, so now this X seems like a Y or maybe even a slash. And the letters have to be really big to feel the detail, so you only get a few words per page. But Braille was invented by a blind guy. He considered 1 dot for A, 2 for B, but that means 26 for Z. He went with the patterns instead, and it was very effective and super cheap to make. No one has yet mentioned that the raised dots in Braille are easier to print than raised letters. There are only 6 positions for the dots. It's designed to be felt, not looked at, which means different patterns work. The alphabet was designed as a visual medium. Several combinations of letters look distinct, but would feel quite similar if attempting to feel them at speed, like AL or FR or C. You could mitigate this to an extent by making them huge, but that would slow the process of consuming lengthy text even further. Braille is designed for feel at speed in a compact way. It's way more efficient and accurate for the target user. One alphabet was designed to be read. The other was designed to be felt, neither is good at both as far as I can tell. Because ILI and 1 will all feel the same. PBTLIGCD probably all feel remarkably similar, you'd need everything to be in a big-ass font. That is exactly what they used to do before Louis Braille invented the system. It was clumsy, gave rise to many errors and was simply unreliable. You try it right now, it's difficult to feel and read. Because it's made for fingertips, not for eyes. Also, Braille has shorthand, which would be confusing with raised letters. They used to, but the size and efficiency of deciphering is not as efficient as Braille. You can write all the letters in Braille using a little rectangle with 6 holes. You could use something like a metal ruler with holes to write anything. If you had to write raised letters, especially back in the day, you would have needed movable type https://images.app.goo.glnwxxlh1tmfsky18i6. They used to. It sucked. It took so many volumes to make one regular book. The biggest blind library in the world had less than 40 books. Because every book was a shelf full of books and that's all that could fit. That so disappointed Louis Braille, a teenager at the time, that invented a new system himself with the same device he accidentally blinded himself with as a child.